Inosaurus. Inosaurus is another ceratopsid dinosaur from the late Cretaceous period, approximately 74 million years ago. It is characterized by its unique cranial features, including a prominent nasal horn and an elaborate frill adorned with various bony projections. Inosaurus was smaller than some of its relatives, measuring about 20 feet long. Its adaptations suggest it was well suited to a herbivorous diet consisting of low-lying vegetation. Fossils have been primarily found in Montana and provide insights into the diversity of ceratopsids in North America during this time. Zuniceratops. Zuniceratops is one of the earliest known members of the ceratopsid family and lived during the late Cretaceous period around 90 million years ago. It exhibited both primitive and advanced features, such as a small frill and early horn development over its eyes. Zuniceratops measured about 15 feet long and likely had a mixed diet that included tougher plant material due to its robust jaws. The fossils were discovered in New Mexico, providing important information about the evolutionary transition within ceratopsids leading up to more derived forms like Triceratops. Brachioceratops. Brachioceratops is a genus of ceratopsid dinosaur that lived during the late Cretaceous period, approximately 74 million years ago. This herbivorous dinosaur is known for its distinctive features, including a relatively short frill at the back of its head and a beak-like mouth adapted for cropping vegetation. Brachioceratops was about 15 feet long and had prominent brow horns, which may have been used for defense or display. Fossils have been primarily found in North America, particularly in Montana. Its morphology suggests it likely inhabited semi-arid environments where it could graze on low-lying plants. Ankylosaurus. Ankylosaurus is notable for its unique cranial features, including large brow horns and an extensive frill with a complex shape. This dinosaur lived during the late Cretaceous period and is believed to have been around 20 feet long as well. Its distinctive head structure may have served both as a display feature and as protection against predators. The fossils indicate that Ankylosaurus had a robust body adapted for grazing on low-lying vegetation. Eucentrosaurus. Eucentrosaurus is another ceratopsian dinosaur closely related to Centrosaurus. It shares similar features, but is recognized for having a more elaborate frill with multiple small horns along its edges. Eucentrosaurus lived during the late Cretaceous period and exhibits traits indicating it was also a social animal that traveled in herds. The fossils suggest it could grow up to about 20 feet long, and its adaptations hint at defensive mechanisms against predators. Centrosaurus. Centrosaurus is a ceratopsian dinosaur that lived during the late Cretaceous period, approximately 76 million years ago. It is characterized by its prominent frill and a single large horn on its nose, which resembles that of its close relatives in the ceratopsid family. Centrosaurus was a herbivore and likely lived in herds, providing social behavior insights into its life. Fossil evidence suggests it had a robust body structure, with a length of about 18 feet and a weight estimated at over 1 ton. The presence of large frills and horns may have been used for display purposes or combat among males. Monoclonius. Monoclonius is a genus of ceratopsian dinosaur that lived during the late Cretaceous period, approximately 75 million years ago. It is notable for its single large horn located on the nose, which is reflected in its name. Monoclonius had a robust body and was characterized by a frill at the back of its head, though it was less elaborate than those found in later ceratopsians like Triceratops. Its adaptations suggest it was herbivorous, likely feeding on low-lying vegetation in its habitat. Dinoceratops. Dinoceratops is a relatively recent discovery among ceratopsians, hailing from Mongolia during the late Cretaceous period. Its name means Yuden's horned face, referencing the region where it was found. Dinoceratops is characterized by its unique skull features and smaller size compared to other well-known ceratopsians like Triceratops. The discovery of Dinoceratops has helped paleontologists understand the diversity and geographical distribution of ceratopsian dinosaurs. Chasmosaurus. Chasmosaurus is another ceratopsian dinosaur from the late Cretaceous period, known for its distinctive long frill and two long brow horns above its eyes. The name translates to opening lizard, referring to the large openings in its frill. Chasmosaurus was similar in some respects to Triceratops, but had a different skull structure and horn arrangement. It likely inhabited open plains and woodlands, feeding on various plant materials. Diceratops is a lesser-known ceratopsian that also lived during the late Cretaceous period. Its name means two-horned face, which reflects its prominent facial features. Specifically, it had two large brow horns and a smaller nasal horn compared to Triceratops. Diceratops shared many characteristics with other ceratopsians, but is thought to be an earlier form, providing insights into the evolution of these dinosaurs. Triceratops is one of the most famous dinosaurs and lived during the late Cretaceous period, around 68 to 66 million years ago. This dinosaur is distinguished by its three prominent facial horns and a large bony frill protecting its neck. Triceratops was likely an herbivore that used its horns for defense against predators such as Tyrannosaurus rex and possibly for social interactions within herds. Evidence suggests they lived in large groups, which could have provided protection against larger carnivores. Rhinoceratops is another ceratopsian dinosaur that lived during the late Cretaceous period in what is now Canada. It is characterized by a lack of a nasal horn, hence its name meaning no-nose horn, and a frill similar to that of other ceratopsians, but with distinct features that suggest it had a unique evolutionary pathway. A rhinoceratops was likely a herd animal and would have fed on low vegetation. Its adaptations suggest it played a role in its ecosystem similar to that of other ceratopsians, but with potential variations in social behavior and feeding strategies. Albertoceratops is a more recently discovered ceratopsian from the late Cretaceous period, found in Alberta, Canada. It exhibits characteristics such as a robust body structure, a single prominent nasal horn, and unique frill shapes. Its discovery has provided new insights into the diversity of ceratopsians in North America and their evolutionary relationships with other members of this group. The fossil evidence suggests that Albertoceratops may have had distinct social behaviors or adaptations compared to its contemporaries. Torosaurus is often considered closely related to Triceratops, but is distinguished by its larger frill with two prominent openings and elongated horns. It also existed during the late Cretaceous period and is believed to have been a contemporary of Triceratops. Some paleontologists propose that Torosaurus may represent an adult stage of Triceratops, suggesting that they could be different growth stages of the same species. Like Triceratops, it was herbivorous and likely utilized its frill for display or defense against predators. Anchiceratops was characterized by a relatively short frill adorned with small horns and a prominent beak-like mouth, ideal for cropping vegetation. It had two large brow horns above its eyes and was likely a social animal, traveling in groups for protection against predators. Fossils indicate that Anchiceratops lived in regions that were lush with plant life during the late Cretaceous, providing ample food sources. Pachyrhinosaurus is unique among ceratopsians due to its thickened nasal area instead of prominent horns. This structure might have been used for display or combat within species. Its robust build indicates it was well adapted to grazing on tough vegetation found in its environment. Evidence suggests that Pachyrhinosaurus also lived in herds, offering protection against predators like Tyrannosaurus rex. Styracosaurus is renowned for its impressive array of long, forward-facing horns on its frill, which likely served both defensive and social purposes. These horns could deter predators such as theropods, providing a formidable defense mechanism. As a herbivore, Styracosaurus would have fed on low-lying vegetation and may have traveled in large herds, which could have provided safety in numbers against potential threats. Fossil evidence suggests that it inhabited areas that are now part of western North America. Pentaceratops Pentaceratops is noted for its 5 distinctive facial horns, 2 large brow horns and 3 smaller ones on its frill. This dinosaur had a robust body and a large frill that likely played a role in defense and display during mating rituals. Pentaceratops was also a herbivore that would have grazed on low-growing plants and possibly formed herds for social interaction and safety against predators.